Hey everyone, this is Aquatic Breeder 3000 here. What I'm going to be doing is making an update video on how to breed breeding Oscars and figuring out if it's a male or female, stuff like that. When it comes to figuring out if it's a male or a female, I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube saying that the anal and dorsal fin, if it overlaps the tail fin, then most likely it's a male. If it doesn't, then it's a female. Don't trust that at all, because I know some people probably look at that and go, hey, I finally found some way to figure out if it's a male or a female. Like I said, don't trust that. I've seen tons of breeding pairs on YouTube, and even just pictures too, and also even with mine, that the anal and dorsal fin overlap more on a female, or overlap the same length as each other. So like I said, don't be listening to that crap. There are usually four main ways on trying to figure out if it's a male or a female Oscar or cichlid. There's size, color, temperament, and by the tails. With size, usually the males are 2 times bigger than the female. And as you can tell right here, I don't have anyone 2 times bigger than the female. And I got 2 males, which this one's a male, the regular Oscar's a male, this one's a female, and this one's a female. And like I said, the males aren't 2 times bigger than them. With color, you can have 2 exactly identical Oscars, one be male, one be female. With temperament, usually they say that males are more aggressive than females. Oscars, it doesn't matter really. You can have both of them be as aggressive as each other. The male will be more aggressive than the female. The female can even be more aggressive than the male. So anything can pretty much happen. The fourth thing is by tail. Usually on other cichlids, the male has pointy tail and is longer than a female. Female is short and round. All Oscars are pretty much round. So that's not going to help you out if it's a male or a female. There is one way to actually figure out if it's a male or a female, like 100%, 100% if it's a male or a female. What you want to do is catch the fish that you're wanting to figure it out on, and while they're in the net, actually have them upside down, and when you look at around their anal fin, then you'll see, for example, kind of like right there in that area, you'll see an anal, the anal hole and reproductive hole, and this is what you should be seeing as an example. For a male, the male anal and reproductive hole are the same size with a female. The reproductive hole is actually bigger than the anal hole. This is how you know if it's 100% male or a female. But one thing is that you shouldn't just go ahead and do it. You should have a pretty good reason why, because it can stress out your fish. And usually they don't really die, but they can get stressed out enough somehow and die. So unless you really, really want to, go ahead, but otherwise I don't suggest it. One thing I've been kind of noticing with some Oscar pairs on YouTube, and even with mine, and I've been noticing this with Oscars that are around like 6 like 5 inches, is that the male, if you see with my male here and my female, they're exactly the same length, but my female here actually kind of looks a little bit bigger, especially when it comes to like thickness, than my male here. Same thing with my 2 little guys, is that he kind of looks a little bit more skinnier than this one, which this one's a female. So I think that almost might be one way to figure out if it's a male or a female for Oscars, but I advise you not to listen to that, because it's pretty much my opinion and what I've been kind of seeing. If you want to try it, go ahead, but I really don't advise you to listen to it, because like I said, it's just my opinion. So, like I said, but you also got to have more of a 5-inch Oscar or something like that. Otherwise, that's pretty much all on trying to figure out if it's a male or a female. For them pairing up, usually they start pairing up around 4, 5, and 6 inches. Sometimes 3. It's more on the rare side or the uncommon side. But when it comes to them actually like starting to lay eggs, there's no time limit or age limit for them to actually do that. When you get a pair, just wait. Some Oscars will actually pretty much start laying eggs instantly, which usually takes about a week after they pair up. But some Oscars will actually wait until they're completely full size, and then they'll actually start breeding and making or laying eggs and all that. So really, there's no size or age limit to that. With them laying eggs, I believe that they can lay up to 1,000 eggs. I've heard that they can also lay up to about 2,000 eggs. That I'm not really sure about. I think it's more on the 1,000 range. But when it comes to them actually laying on, like stuff for them to lay the eggs on, pretty much anything will work when they're 7 inches or smaller. Otherwise, for example, stuff in my tank, in my aquarium could work on that and stuff. Could work with that. But when they're about 8 inches and larger, what you want to do is kind of break a flower pot in half, and they'll actually breed on the outside, or just get a big flat piece of rock or something like that, and they'll just breed on that. You want to make sure that they have something that they like to breed on and all that stuff, because if they don't, they'll actually make a crater in the gravel. For example, something like this. I made this crater in the gravel, so just to kind of give them more room under the driftwood. But they can do something like that, and actually enough where there's a big spot of glass showing up, they'll just lay the eggs on that and all that stuff. What you want to make sure is that you don't have an under gravel filtration system. One reason is because if they lay eggs like that, and if the filter is right there, they'll actually lay the eggs on that filter. Then the eggs will get sucked up. Also, even if they don't do that, most cichlids will actually make a crater in the gravel anyways, just because they like putting their fry or babies in that area, in that crater. And if that filter is there, it'll just suck up the babies too and kill them. So that's why it's a good thing not to have under gravel filtration with, in fact, any breeding fish, because because they'll just kill the eggs or the babies off. That's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to the Oscar cichlids. Hopefully I answered a lot of questions out there. If not, just leave the questions in the comment area. I'll try and get to them as quick as possible. And also, if anyone wants me to start making a video of a certain freshwater fish right away, then just also comment and I'll start making a video on that. But otherwise, I'm just going to pick pretty much random fish and start making videos of them. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and also please leave comments.